Hey everybody, Karen from Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are going to have a really helpful conversation. I believe this is going to be very helpful for everybody, for people who support Trump and people who don't support Trump. We are asking, what is Trump really about? What is Trump really about? Now, be forewarned, this is about us, okay? This is not about him. We are looking inward for people who support him and people who don't support him. We're going to understand each other by the end of this conversation. And we're going to understand ourselves a little bit more as well. All right. At the end of the conversation, I'm going to ask the lead team for a message that is related to the conversation we're going to have. I'm going to give them a choice between two different decks that we got from our fairy godmother, Melinda, the community received. And I'll let the lead team decide between the two new ones that I received, okay, which one they want to give the message from. Okay, so this will be interesting. What I did is I put this into Mabel, into AI, okay? I said, so I started this little series. I've already recorded one. It was what is this drama really about? I personally found it very helpful. I haven't uploaded it yet because I'm recording this back to back. So I don't know what you guys are going to say about it. So I'll wait and get your feedback. But so I said to Mabel, I said, let's do the same thing for what is Trump really about? That's the question, is what is this really about? And we're just doing Trump right now. So what is this really about? It's the new series that I'm doing. I want to come at it. This is what I said. I want to come at it for people who like the things Trump does and for people who don't like the things Trump does. People who don't like Trump can't understand why someone would look at what he does and think he's a good man. But what is this really about in us? Okay. So she said, basically, she gave me a wonderful outline, which is why she's so helpful. So we'll use our discernment though and see. She's helping us think about this from a different perspective. And we'll use our discernment if we agree with some of the stuff she says or not, you know? Okay, so what is Trump really about? Number one, why does one person see a hero and another see a villain? I am very curious about this. Two people can watch the exactly same speech. One will see strength and another sees arrogance. One sees courage and another sees narcissism. One sees honesty and another sees cruelty. How can the same person generate such different reactions? How can the same person generate such different reactions? Oh, yeah. How can Trump generate such different reactions? And we're just using him as an example right now. Okay. We can do this with anybody. All right. Anyone, because he's so polarizing. It's a really good conversation to have because of his ability to polarize. All right. What are we actually responding to? So the question is, what does Trump represent in you personally? Whether you see him with the strength, the courage, the honesty, or you see him as arrogant, narcissist, cruelty. Okay. What does Trump represent to you personally? Trump is a projection screen. We all project onto public figures. We don't just see them, we see what they symbolize. Supporters often see strength, defiance, independence, fighting the system, saying what others won't say. Critics often see narcissism, bullying, dishonesty, self-interest, and abuse of power. Both groups may be responding to real things. All that can be happening at the same time, but they're also responding to what those traits mean to them. So what's inside of you? Are you reacting to Trump or to what Trump symbolizes? It's a question Mabel has for us. What does Trump trigger? What does Trump trigger in you? Strong reactions usually point to something deeper. And a lot of us recently have been saying he's playing a role. And we all know that we're all playing roles. We're all playing roles. And he's playing a specific role, just like all of us are. His is just bigger. And, yeah. I mean, so what role is he playing that's mirroring something that's helpful for you to figure out? Strong reactions usually point to something deeper. And boy, oh boy, do I have strong reactions to him. And I'm going to be asking that question. The question is, what is this really about? And we're not talking about him. Don't have conversation about him. Don't get in the comments and be like, he's a grifter. No. That's not the point of this conversation. This is not a political conversation. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What is it about in you? Why does that bug you so much? Why does it bug you so much? I can't even answer that right now because I really have to spend some time thinking about it. And I'm going to, and then I'll probably share what I came up with for myself when a coffee with Karen. Unless I feel completely stupid about it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm an open book here. I might even use Mabel to help me explore what the triggers are all about. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It actually is very helpful. So what does Trump trigger? Admiration teaches us something. So people who admire him, and I know it's so hard because I'm on that camp. It's like, how can people see strength when I see narcissism? And then you're like, well, why does somebody admire that? Well, it's because they see strength. And they have a billion other experiences that I don't have, just like I have a billion experiences that they don't have, that triggers me to see narcissism while someone else sees strength. So they're blowing the leaves outside. I better pause this for a sec. Okay, so we were at admiration teaches us something. So if you're admiring, that's teaching you something. If you look at it, what is that really about? Anger teaches us something. What is that really about? Fear, loyalty, resentment. Why does this particular person create such intense emotions? Why not every politician? So the question is, what emotions come up for you when you think about Trump? That is where we need to be spending our time, not watching everything he does, whether you think it's strength or narcissism. It doesn't matter. What is it? What is he bringing up in you? And if you look at him and see strength, you do need to question, why is somebody else looking at him and seeing narcissism? What am I not seeing? And if you see narcissism, you need to say, if you're going to spend even a minute more of time looking at him, you don't have to. I mean, why? But you might question, why does someone else see strength? Why does someone else see strength? Interesting, huh? What human needs is he connected to? What human needs is he connected to? For supporters, I like how she said the desire for strength. The desire for strength. So what that tells me, the desire for protection, for justice, for disruption of the status quo, to be heard, to win. Okay, this is interesting because for those of you, now you tell us, for those of you who support him, if you're willing to admit that in this group, it's okay. It's okay. We are not in division anymore. All right. We're trying to understand ourselves better, and then we can help each other. Right. So what is it that you desire? Why don't you see the strength in yourself? Because you love the strength you're seeing outside of yourself. But does that mean you're not seeing the strength because there's a desire to see strength? So maybe you're missing something. You don't feel strength in your own life. You don't feel protection in your own life. You need somebody else to protect. right? So you see that as protection. You don't feel justice in your own life. Something maybe has happened where you haven't gotten justice, and you think he is going to bring that justice to the world. You wanted disruption of status quo for a reason. What is it about your life that you might have wanted disruption of the status quo? You desire to be heard. Is there anything in your life that you're like, he heard us. But did you need him to hear you? What is it about your life that you're not feeling heard? And what can you focus on there? And then the desire to win. You felt something was stolen, right? Just as people feel the same way. Believe it or not, I don't know if you know this, but people feel the same way about Kamala. Everybody feels like that election was stolen on the other side. If that part is not a part of your algorithm. The conversation is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. And I think it's by design. I think it's by design from both sides. So for critics of Trump, all right, you have desire for fairness, desire for integrity. The key here is the word desire. I like how Mabel used that. That's the key word. Because why are we desiring this? Do we not have that in our own life? Yeah, there has been some things that happened to me that were not fair. And I've been around some people without integrity, and it's really annoying, So the desire for those things, the desire for accountability, desire for compassion, stability, truthfulness. Again, we got to look inside and say, what is this really about? What is it really about when it comes to fairness? What is it? But in you, not externally. Don't talk about him. How is he showing you that you have a desire for fairness, but that is actually lacking, if that is one of the things that triggers you about him? So Mabel said, interesting observation. Both sides are often seeking good things. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants strength, protection, justice, disruption of the status quo, to be heard, to win, for fairness. Although some of those words are a little, I don't know. Fairness, integrity, accountability, compassion, stability, truthfulness, right? They simply disagree on whether Trump represents those things. So what need is underneath your opinion of Trump? What need do you have that he's fulfilling? If this is an area that you may not even, I'm assuming that if you're not interested in this, like looking deeper at this, you probably have clicked off at this point. If you're like, I don't care about Trump, like I never pay attention, So, but I do. And, I find him quite annoying. So I'm trying to say, what is this really about in me? What is this really about in me? Not what is it really about in you? Like, how can you like him? We got to stop asking those questions because that's just the division. Let's go inside. We have to go inside. So the shadow question, Mabel said this may be the most uncomfortable section, she said. That's funny. Supporters. Do we excuse behavior because we like the outcomes? Okay. I will put some of this in the description below, you guys, if you want to pull some of these questions for your own journaling. Do we excuse behavior because we like the outcomes? I can see a little bit of that. Are we willing to overlook character flaws if someone delivers results? Yeah, I'm not. I always say it's even one thing that he has done should have been enough to be like, that guy cannot be president. But that makes sense to me, that I think people are willing to overlook character flaws if he can deliver results. It's interesting. I had never thought of it that way. Critics, do we dismiss people because of personality while overlooking why others support them? And are we seeing the whole picture or only the parts that reinforce our beliefs? I did come to realize, and I said it to my husband, I said, do you realize that we have never watched a full speech of his? Because like we can't even like 30 seconds and we're like, but if you watch, but that means you never actually hear what he actually says, you know? And I've mentioned this before, but somebody in my family, when I sent a video before the election about Kamala to this person thinking, oh, he's going to see something, so he's going to hear it. Real Trump supporter. He's going to hear it. He literally said to me, I can't even listen to her for more than 10 seconds. Her voice drives me crazy. The exactly same thing. I was like, oh my God. And so he wouldn't even listen to her either. They have trained us so well. It's crazy. I think it's crazy. This is crazy making. So neither side likes these questions, but both sides benefit from them. Those shadow questions, I think they're good ones. What if Trump isn't the real story? Trump won't be here forever. Eventually another figure will take his place, yet the same issues will remain. Power, authority, freedom, identity, fear, hope, belonging, trust, division. The deeper questions existed before Trump and will exist after. What issue in humanity is Trump helping to reveal? What issues in humanity is Trump helping to reveal? Probably all those things. Our desire for these things. The deeper lesson, maybe Trump is less important than our reaction to him. He acts like a giant mirror, revealing our hopes, fears, values, biases, blind spots, what we think leadership should look like, what we think strength should look like, and integrity. What has your reaction to Trump taught you about yourself? Well, I don't know, because we keep looking outward at the drama and not inward at ourselves about it. So that's why we're having this conversation today. That's why I'm having it, because I have not done that. And I want to do it. And I figured, well, why don't we do it together? Okay. So Mabel said, I think this is the end here. And then we'll pull a card. If I were doing this for your audience, she said, it's not part of the outline, but I'm going to read it anyways. I'd probably distill it even further to 3 big ideas. Trump as a mirror. What does he reveal in us? Trump as a symbol. What does he represent to different people? And Trump as a teacher. What has our reaction to him taught us about power, leadership, fear, hope, identity, and ourselves? It's because she says it keeps from becoming a political discussion. Yeah, this isn't about him. That's the whole point. Actually, nothing is. Nothing in your life is about anybody else. Because I have been very intrigued throughout my life where I'm like, this, I mean, so he is just like the energy that he carries around all of these things is massive. It's almost like Jesus energy, but it's the energy to really make all of us look at ourselves in a different way than Jesus does, right? But just in a different way. But if you look at your own life, so like my sister and I, when my father, my biological father, when we are in his presence, she views him very differently than I do. I have a very different reaction to everything he says. Why? Why is that? He is the same person saying the same thing in the same room, and we have very different reactions. The same goes with other people in our lives, my sister and I. She will have, and for my biological father, I have more of a negative reaction to him than she does. There's other people in our lives where it's the opposite, where I don't really understand her negative reaction to some people, and I do. Like, I don't have the same one. That's what this is all about. So it's looking inward so I find that intriguing. It's very intriguing. The same person, my biological father, the same person. The thing is we have completely different relationships with him. She's 5 years older. Okay, four, she always says 4.5. 4 and 8 months or so. No, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months. 4 and 7 months. But, she was out of the house when we just had very different relationship with him. I was 5 years old when he left the house. She was 10. So she had that many more years growing up with him in our house than I did. So I had to deal with divorced father from age 5, where she got to until 10, So very different, but that's the same with all of us. So why are we arguing with each other? All right, let's ask the lead team for some input on this conversation. All right, lead team. So there's 2 decks we're going to choose. So I'm going to have them choose. So Fairy Godmother Melinda sent me this Gratitude Oracle. Look how beautiful that is. By Angela Hartfield. And she sent me by Kyle Gray, Gateway of Light Activation Oracle. So let's see if they want to choose either one of these to give us a message about this conversation. All right, I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and all of those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Welcome, lead team. Thank you so much for being here and partnering with us, as always. I've already done the Law of Challenge today, so we're all good. So lead team, our fairy godmother, Melinda, I just love that so much. Hopefully she does. Hopefully Melinda sent our community 2 oracle decks. And Melinda, by the way, would say it's from the whole community to me, you guys, which then I turn around and use it for you. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So gratitude. So lead team, do you want to use one of these today to give our message? Do you have a message for us about this conversation that we could relate to the conversation we're having? Yes? Okay. Do you want to use Gratitude Oracle? No. Or do you want to use Gateway of Light Activation? Yes. Okay. All right. So we'll use the Gratitude Oracle at some point. Okay. So very pretty. Very pretty. I will link these below if you want to take a look at them. All right, lead team. So based on the conversation we've been having is, what is Trump really about? What would you like to add to the conversation? What would you like to add? Oh, they are a little sticky because they're new, but let's see if they wanted to have one of these cards. I think there's 6 in there. Let's see. Did you want to read one of those cards that had popped out? Yes. Okay, let's go through them quick. Number 1, the one on top. No. 2. Nope. 3. Okay, number 3. Okay, any others in that deck? No? Okay. All right. 1, 2. I'm going to tell you guys a kind of an interesting story about 3 that you'll want to stick around for at the end of this, if I can remember. I forget. I did that last night. I was like, what is this thing I was going to talk about? But I did come back and remember. All right. So this is from the lead team regarding this conversation. What I'm going to do then is we're going to read it. I'm going to put it into Mabel, and she's going to sit and she's going to give us another interpretation. But I want to hear your interpretation as to why you think the lead team gave us this message. So tell me that first, and then I'm going to plug it into Mabel and see what she has to say, okay, as to how this message that the lead team is giving us, relates to the one we just had about what Trump is really about. Okay, so the card is, ooh, that's pretty. So see if you pick up anything just from the image. What is this really about? What is Trump really about? Okay, so Sirius Star Blessing. Sirius, Sirius Star Blessing. Yes, proceed, be seen, push through. Those are the words. All right, so let's look up what this means. Sirius Star Blessing. All right. So Sirius is the brightest star in the sky and was the utmost importance to the ancient Egyptians. In fact, our current new year was celebrated as the coming of Sopdet. You may be in my pronunciations. It's Sopdet, the goddess queen of Sirius. As during the last week of December, Sirius can be found high in the sky between midnight and dawn. The Sirius star system is the home of a race of humanoid beings. What? Who most likely live in a dimension higher than our own. It's believed that these beings can be contacted through spiritual practice. Tuning into them can enable us to receive high-frequency spiritual downloads. This card draws the bright light of Sirius and the support of Sirian star beings into our world. When it comes to us, it helps us find light in moments of darkness and uncertainty. So when it comes to us, it helps us see light in moments of darkness and uncertainty and to continue on. So I think the validation, that's how I'm interpreting that, is the lead team validating that there are moments that is dark and uncertain right now, feels dark and uncertain, depends on who you talk to, and to help us find the light in this moment and to continue on. If you feel strongly connected to Sirius and its star beings, it's likely that you are connected to them on a spiritual level. Anybody feeling connected? And if you take time to locate the star in the sky, you might even have a sense of coming home. Wow. The message that comes with this gateway is a giant yes. It brings the energy of wishing on a star and seeing that wish coming true. This is a time for you to move forward with any projects or ideas that you have felt called to carry out. There is, just keep in mind we're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde right now. There is an energy of positivity, abundance, and excitement surrounding you at this time. Very cool. Whatever dreams you've been revisiting recently aren't dreams, but premonitions. Know that whatever you're connecting with on the inside is soon to be something you'll be experiencing in the physical. I think that's key. That's key to this messaging that we're talking about. What is Trump really about? So think about what you desire instead of what you fear. There we go. See yourself celebrating as if your wildest dreams have come true. As you do so, you'll be creating the perfect energy for them to manifest in the world. And this is not, for those who don't like Trump, this is not asking you to celebrate his departure. No, that's not what we're focused on. I don't know why that just occurred to me that somebody would be like, that's what you're focused on right now. Okay, so interesting. Let me go ahead and put this into Mabel, and because she came up with some really good ideas from yesterday's conversation of what is this drama really about in us. And I thought that was really helpful. So let me do that. Okay, let's see if we get any additional wisdom here from AI. Okay. So I put in the card message and I said, this is what the lead team wants to offer to the conversation. So how would you interpret this? So Mabel said the card repeatedly says proceed, be seen, push through, move forward with your own ideas and projects, focus on what you desire rather than what you fear, bring something physical, bring something into the physical world. Viewed through this lens, an interesting discussion question emerges. At what point does watching Trump become a substitute for living our own lives? Or worrying about Trump rather than worrying about your own life, or whatever. Or even support, getting excited about what he's doing rather than just being excited about your own life. For supporters, are we waiting for Trump to fix things that we could be addressing ourselves? Are we placing too much hope in one person? Are we waiting for political outcome before moving forward with our own dreams? Yeah, has anyone noticed how no matter who the president is, they all do the same things? I mean, they just have a different approach, For critics, are we allowing Trump to occupy too much of our mental and emotional space? Are we spending more energy reacting to him than creating the future we want? This card, the message from the lead team, seems to point both groups towards the same question. How much of your life force is tied up in Trump? It's amazing, isn't it? Now, I know, again, I'm pretty sure people who are still around right now, like listening to this, probably have not been doing that. But don't you find that so amazing? How much our life force right now is tied up in him? Because whether someone loves or dislikes him, Trump can become the center of attention. Yeah, he can. And he likes that. I mean, come on. He has to be the center of everything. He has to show up to the NBA stuff. He has to show up to the Super Bowl. He just has to be he has to be the center of everything. He does not like it when the attention is not on him. And I'm sure there's a reason for that. The card, by contrast, seems to redirect attention back to your purpose, your projects, your dreams, your future, and your own path forward. Another angle that stands out is be seen. Many people project enormous hopes, fears, frustrations, and expectations onto public figures. The card almost asks, Mabel says, what if you stopped looking at what Trump is doing? What if you focused on what you are here to do? What wants to be expressed through you? What wants to be expressed through you? Very cool. So he's the catalyst. He's the catalyst, revealing what we value, revealing what we fear, revealing where we place our hope, revealing where we give away our power, revealing where we wait for someone else to create change. Yeah. Yep. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, I'm giggling because it's like I say I love what I'm talking about here. But yeah. Obviously, Mabel offered a lot of that, and so did the lead team as a part of that. So, and our fairy godmother. Thank you again for that amazing oracle deck. So I was going to tell you the little story about threes. All right. So one of my favorite people to listen to is what is it? It's Vina. My NDE from A to Z. That's her channel. I will post her channel below. My NDE from A to Z. And she's just really down to earth. Now, if you support Trump, you probably will not want to listen to her. So, but she's just very down to earth. But okay, my husband came home and I stopped, so I don't know where I left off. But I was telling you about Vina at my NDE from A to Z. So she had a near-death experience. She gets messages all the time. Okay. She often, if you have not listened to her, she often gives numbers that her guides have given her. What the hell is going on with my hair? That her guides give her. And then her listeners will go out and buy lottery tickets and they land on stuff. I think she gave a number last time, and she said like 17 people. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's like a three-letter number or three numbers, three-letter number. Anyway, so I thought this was fascinating. I'm going to post this. I got to post this on her channel. But her recently, she said the numbers that she's getting are multiple threes. Okay. And she's like, I don't know if it's like three threes or four threes. It's just multiple threes. And obviously it has to do with money because people are gambling with it. But this is the interesting part of the story, which is what I want to post on her channel, is I was listening to, there's a gentleman by the name of Clive. And he's an expert. He doesn't sell gold or silver, and he's kind of an expert in watching the trends of gold and silver, okay? And I was listening to him the other day. His video ends at 33:33. And I just found that interesting. Because he's talking about gold and silver, and he's talking about how well gold and silver is going to do. This is not money management or advice or anything, but even though it's taken a dip and it's been down for 5 or 6 months, but I just thought it was 4 threes, and I thought, oh, okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that what he's saying is probably right. So, anyways, I realized at the end of that story that maybe it was like, wah, wah, wah. I don't know. I just found it fascinating. Probably because I've been waiting we have a little investment, just a very small investment in gold and silver paper. And it's been, down. And so I just thought it was kind of interesting because I'm like, okay, well, maybe there'll be a turnaround soon. Because we are kind of in the middle of we're in the middle of a bull market. It's just a pullback in the middle of a bull market. So the bull market will probably go for another 4 or 5 years for gold and silver. But anywho, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, you guys, let me know what you think about this new series of what is this really about. I don't know. I don't know how many I'll do. I just do stuff as I'm inspired, but let me know what you think. All right. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.